that thing called a sun. It's so hot. It's like, I mean, it was supposed to be a top of 28, 29, but it feels like it's like 32. I feel like taking an aimless walk around, just because I'm bored. But I did quite well today. I did all the small things I had to do by 1 p.m. And when you realize it didn't start until probably around 12, it only took an hour to do the small things that I need to do once a day. While I'm thinking about it, there was one other small thing that I can do, but that's okay, I can do it later. But if I can do like all the small things first thing in the morning, that would make my day complete before it's begun. The third bath looks good. I've been annoyed today because I get really stressed when I think about the future and combine that with memories of the past. I mean, I could be in a very comfortable position and feeling great about myself, but instead I'm heading towards a worse position where all I can see is a lot of stress and not so many good feelings. It's like the concept of having it all compared to having nothing, basically. When you know you could have had something good and instead you're gonna step right onto the turf of struggling, not being a stranger to struggles. I know exactly how that's gonna feel like. It might get easier for me before I take that dive, but when I do take that dive, I'm gonna struggle. That and ideas of corruption or sabotage, social leniencies, all that intermingles with my other ideas, and then I get very frustrated and stressed to the point that I'm literally like feeling tension in my neck, sweating, very stressed out. When you're so stressed that you start sweating, what I normally do is like to take a nice long walk, because let's face it, you can't sit, you can't concentrate. You want to release some of that tension and take a nice long stroll. Even if that means aimlessly glancing at garden things that I've glanced at 1,000 times previously. When I think about it, that would be probably a really good spot to put a plant. But I don't know what kind of plant you could put there. Anyway, I think generally, like when I think about things, I get very distraught about all these things. Your associations, your current ones, are corrupted. You shouldn't be returning to them, or let alone relying on them in any way. All these things are corruptions, so better off not doing that. But then I think of work, and I'm like, you know, if it's not an office environment, then what are you going to meet? And then I get stressed again and be like, you know, it's just another double essence of corruption. Not to say all office environments are easy peasy or listless or, you know, totally legislative proof. Not all of them are. Quite a lot of them are, not all of them. So you can get that off-putting job interview or that office where you feel bad to enter it. When you take a moment to breathe in and you have someone snapping your fingers to work harder, you're like, or you'll lose your job, you're like, all right, these aren't really good examples of a nice office environment, but there are plenty of ones that leave you to your own devices and, you know, are a lot more legitimate and feels nice. I've been trying my best to look forward. I'm still in the running for one of the jobs that I've been interviewed for. I've been interviewed for 7 in the last 2 weeks. One of them's still all going on. All the other applications have closed. And of course I didn't get it. But the one that is still being decided is probably more likely the one that I want over others. And not to say that I didn't apply for other jobs that I'm not aware that I've heard back from. There were a couple of others that I wanted. I'm trying really hard to focal attention on a certain particular area that usually has the better jobs, but as far as I know, I wasn't even considered for whatever I applied for. But the one that I have an application going for could be my next job. But I can lose it very quickly if my internet's not strong enough from home. And then I'll be like, but I might give all ideas away. And I'm just going to give this year away. But I might search for other kinds of employment. I might do a deeper search or a massaging search for it. But I don't know. But with any other kind of work, it's like, I don't know. Usually offices are more reliable, but I've never had a reliable office job because people get sick of me so quickly. They're like, we don't want to employ you anymore. I would be very surprised if I can actually hold down an office job, which I've never been able to do. And if that doesn't work out, then where am I? And I'm like, oh, kind of stuck. I mean, I was trying to energy myself up some ladder, but it's not working. Nothing's working. Yes, I was distracted this morning, and yes, I was having an unholy cow, but it's very perplexing when you want so much and you can obtain it. Look at all this. I'm not helping out with the gardening, and I wish I did because I'm so, like, times like this when I'm stressed out, all I can do is walk around. But if I had something to do outdoors, this could be like a really good stress reliever. But I'm just leaving it because, like, I'm not going to live here anymore. Why do I care about this? You know, the other person doesn't want me to touch it because they think it's going to lead to the buildup of rubble that they will have to deal with. But literally, you can chop all these little branches down to small sticks and run it over with a lawnmower. And they're like, still, they don't want me to touch this wild area. But I wouldn't mind doing some chopping because when you get distressed, you want to do that kind of outdoorsy work. This is just looking to be an overgrown forest. But the trouble is, this isn't a forest area. It's not a natural reserve. It's a property. But I won't speculate because I'm probably not going to live here anymore. If I could just obtain a good amount of money suddenly and then leave tomorrow, I would. And then I'm going to tell myself, don't come back to this, don't come back to that. But that doesn't mean my life will be problem free. Usually it's problematic. And it's never problem free. I would be very lucky if I hit the ground running and it was problem free. These are yellow bottle brush, unless they turn red. I think they're white. Maybe they turn white. I don't think they turn red. Maybe there is a yellow one. So it's a paperbark tree. That could be yellow, yeah. I know I was worried about my spider plants and I bought house soil, but I'm also worried about my lilies being in rose and fruit soil. They should be also in house plant soil. That's why I bought 2 more packets of soil, and my bonsais need to be repotted so that their soil's new. As far as I'm concerned, they're being kept alive by nutrient pellets and not actually a bowl full of soil. And then I read on the internet that they'll stay alive with nutrient pellets for up to a year, but after that time they really need soil. And then I read on the internet that you can put cactus soil with bonsais, but then I looked up the particular types of bonsais, and they were like, according to particular types of bonsais, they won't do very well with cactus soil, and so I bought a packet of bonsai soil to replace the pellets and not use the cactus soil, which I had planned to do because I also need cactus soil for other things, like the chilies. So it's a nice cool breeze, but the sun is so hot. I literally don't know what to do with myself, and I've got a whole day and I have nothing to do. But like I said, I've been so stressed out today, it makes sitting indoors hard. Just the concept of sitting indoors is hard. And I feel like some relief.